Hello everyone and welcome to today's video.
So for today's video, I thought that I would explain how blind people tell money apart, and this is going to be a two-part series because the next part is going to be discussing a device, but for this part I'm going to explain how we used to tell money apart, how I was originally taught to tell money apart before apps and devices were a thing. So, I only have one bill here because I'm going to use it in the next video, and I didn't really see the point in getting too many bills, so I'm just going to show you how to do it with one bill. And also, I don't have a paper clip, so I'm just going to explain to y'all how this is done without a paper clip, because I didn't bring one of those over here. So, how we used to tell money apart is we used to fold bills a certain way. It depended on the individual. And then we used to use different size clips. So, for instance, I would fold ones like that, and I would fold fives like that, and I would put a paper clip, I would fold them like this, and then I would put a big plastic paper clip on the top. And then for the 20s, I would put a little plastic clip on the top. And then for the 50s, I would put a big metal clip on the top. And then for the hundreds, I would fold them. I really don't remember my system. That might not be exactly right. It's changed over the years. But that system was extremely bulky, and it made for some really embarrassing moments because I would think that I had a certain denomination and it wasn't. Or I would have to wait until I got out in the car and be like, somebody tell me what these bills are. And then somebody would go through my wallet trying to get money out of it so they could just run in and pay for things for me. And they would mess up my entire system. So I'm so glad I don't use that anymore. Let me know if y'all use this system and maybe put it down in the comments what it was before you used an app or a money reading device. But I feel like people have it really lucky these days, and I know that I sound really old, but I really do. Like, even me, like, I look at all these devices and these apps, and I'm like, you all have it so good. I had to use paper clips and folding, and, like, there was one bill I had to fold like this. I don't remember which bill it was. I want to say, actually, that it was the 50s. I don't think I used the paper clip on the 50s. I don't remember what I used a clip on and what I didn't. But I used to have to fold my bills a certain way. Like my ones and my fives. I think it was my fives I folded over, and then I just used paper clips for the rest. So, like, small plastic paper clip for the 10s, a large plastic paper clip for the 20s, a large metal paper clip for the 50s, and a small metal clip for the hundreds, because the plastic ones were worth more. So, anyway, that was what I was originally taught when I was in school, to tell dollar bills apart. And now I will take you in here and we will talk about how to tell change apart, because I get asked this question a lot. So we're just gonna walk over here to my change buckets. And we are going to dig in here for penny. I separate out all my change. I separate my pennies from my silver change, because I'm good like that. And then we are going to take the lid off the top of this. Maybe. My change jar talks. Or it used to talk. It doesn't have a double in it. So we're gonna get a dime. And we're gonna get, that's a dime. Oh shoot, I dropped the penny in here. We're gonna get a nickel. We're gonna find my penny. We're gonna get a dime. That's a nickel. And I will explain how to do this in just a second. That's a quarter, I need that. And then that's a dime. Shoot. Well, I usually separate out my stuff. That's a dime. I don't really have a lot of change in here. Where did my nickel go? My penny, I mean. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna get out a new penny. And I will look for that one later. Okay. So, how do you tell change apart? Well, this penny that I'm holding right here has no ridges on the edges. And it's also bigger, or maybe it's the same size as a dime, but it's smaller than a nickel. Okay, so we're gonna put this back, and then we're gonna go with the dime. This dime is pretty much the same size, maybe a little bit smaller than a penny, and I don't know if you can see that on video, but dimes have ridges around the edges, and they are smaller than quarters. A quarter is the biggest coin, unless you're dealing with a 50-cent piece, which is bigger than a quarter, and I actually have one of these somewhere. Not in my silver change jar, because I collect those. But I am holding a quarter, and you will notice, if you can see this on camera, that a quarter has ridges, just like a dime. And one of the things that I want to show you is that if you cannot feel the ridges with your fingers, you can actually kind of scratch at the edges of the coin, and you can tell whether or not they have ridges by the way your finger scratches on the coin. So for those of you who have trouble determining coinage, because I know sighted people sometimes do, and I've had sighted people walk up to me, is this a nickel? I don't know. Hand it to me. And then, speaking of nickels, this is a nickel. And you will notice that it has a smooth edge. There's no ridges on the side. And it is bigger than a penny. So, that's how you determine coins when you can't see. Stay tuned next week for the device video, because it's going to be so good, and I'm going to go dig this penny out. In the meantime, I hope you all like this video enough to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're brand new. Please ring that notification bell. Make sure it's set to all notifications. Please leave a comment if you have something to say. Like my Facebook page, and definitely follow me on Twitter. Those are both Stephieonyoutube 1. The personal Twitter is Stephie2010. Please follow me on Labrie. And you can also email me at Stephieonyoutube@gmail.com. All the links I just mentioned is found below the About section of my YouTube page and down in the description. And my email address that I just mentioned is found in the About section and also in the description. So everything should be in the description. Stay tuned next week, because next week I am reviewing a money reader device. See y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.